let's refactor our code in our controller so that it will be managed by a service. We can create a new folder because we want to keep service separated from everything else, so we'll create it. It will be services here, and inside the folder we'll create a new file, and then we'll do again Angular module event app. If you remember, this is the syntax that we use to invoke our module. Then we'll do factory. Our module factory name will be event factory. We don't have to inject anything, so we can just keep the function. We can get rid of this square bracket, and then we'll declare the instance that we want to return. So it will be event factory once again. This will be our object, and at the end we'll do return event factory. This instance will contain all of our methods, so it will be a crude like API. We'll start with the add event one, which is the one we just saw. So we'll do event factory dot create event. Create event equals function, and we want to pass to the function the event that we want to add and the list that will contain the event. So specifically, we want to pass the scope event array and the form content. Let's go back here, and what we'll do inside here is just event list dot push event, and then we return the event list. Okay, that's all. We'll save the file. We'll call it event factory.js. The last thing we have to do is to include it in our index.html. I'll do that quickly. src equals services slash event factory.js. Okay, we can save the index.html as well, and now we have to refactor our controller.js, and we'll replace the scope event push with actually event factory dot create event. We'll still do Angular copy because even if you are using a service, it will be still passed by reference. So let's keep Angular copy. And again, will this work according to you guys, or there's something else we need to do? Well, what we need to do is to inject the service in our controllers. So let's use an annotation this time. And I didn't say that to you guys yet, but annotations will be quite useful when you want to minimize your code, or because thanks to the annotation, you won't have issues about variables and parameters being renamed and Angular not knowing anymore what's what. So the annotation helps you in defining the parameters that you're passing by position. So let me just explain. In here we can have our event factory and our scope, and then we pass the function again that will contain the actual event factory injection and the scope. So when the code is minified, this thing will be something like A and B. So we lose track of what's A and B, and you'll have lots of issues. Thanks to the annotation, it will be positional, so we know that A corresponds to event factory and scope corresponds to B. No worries about that, we'll have a specific lesson about annotations. So let's go back to where we were. I didn't pass the second parameter, which should be our event, $scope.event. Let's save it again, guys, and let's try again. Event 1, event desk, submit, and this time our object contains our first form data. So let's try to change it. Event 2 description. I'm expecting to see a different object this time. So in the first one we have event desk and event 1, and in the second one we have event 2 description and event 2 as name. So that's grand, it works fine. and we've seen how to refactor our code, keep it more clean, and manage everything to a factory. And in here, imagine that instead of doing the manual push, you might call an API. And in here you can see that we can keep adding new functionalities like deleting events and modifying events. And also we'll see that through the $HTTP built-in service that Angular offers, we can call external APIs as well.